till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around. Can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide, always down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to Cigars Daily Live, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona with a gangbusters episode tonight. We all get to live in ultimate fear because on this episode, we will never recover from this. Cigars will never recover from what's coming down the pipes. And I got to tell you, scary stuff is happening all the time. It's happening all around us. And I just want to capitalize on that, because everybody else seems to be doing that. Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
Aren't we just terrified of everything all the time?
I'm always scared. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's exactly right. All right. We're going to run into an issue with Plus on, on Plus tonight. So, okay. Oops. Oh, yeah. Do I remove that? Okay. Well, I'm just going to click that button. There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Tim, and I'm the host of the show. But you watching at home, you are the co-host. Your comments and questions will drive the episode. And so drop them down below. Ask about anything that you want. People usually do. Now, of course, this episode is going to be one of the best episodes that we've ever done. Guaranteed. I guarantee it, or your money back. And it's a free show, so enjoy it. Helping me out with this thing, because I couldn't possibly ever do this by myself. Behind the camera is Billy, the cock of the wall.
There we go. You're getting
That's
real
a little-
good at putting that on quick.
You know, I'm working on it.
I
Yo,
still feel,
efficiency.
though, like every time I say it, you go for that thing like you forgot about it.
I'm not going to lie. I forget about it until you start going, Billy the Claw. And then I'm like,
I'm
gotta
always
get
I
looking
try to
at that thing.
conspicuously reach for the crown off screen. I'm like, let me grab this real quick to try to like signal you.
Look,
in.
I'm so into reading that I don't even know.
You might say he's hooked on phonics.
I'm hooked on Pahonics.
Oh no.
And of course, sitting next to him at the production table is El Rey del Terrence.
Salutations, all. How's everybody doing? Everybody's back from TPE. I'm happy that everybody's back home.
All right.
With me.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying, y'all came back safe. Y'all traveled.
know.
Y'all went
I know.
across state lines. I'm just happy y'all
Yep.
back.
We sure did. We're happy we're back safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Do
what
you
it is.
do you know how much worse my day would be if y'all weren't safe?
It would be.
Marginally worse. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've got like a contingency plan for that. All right.
No, I don't.
And of course, sitting third chair tonight is nobody. Ryan is doing stuff, I guess. He got held up front. Did he get held? Oh, you held him up front.
Oh,
All right.
goodness.
Part of our studio audience who made it on time, by the way, held up Ryan, defender of the flat earth, who will be here. We'll announce him when he comes in. Just so you guys know, we're going to jam out for this episode, and later on we're going to go to the after party on Rumble because Cigars Daily Plus is having an issue tonight, unavoidable issue. That will be available later on, but the whole after party is still going to happen. Thank God we've diversified. We've divested our portfolio of streaming locations like a three-headed dog or whatever they
Like
call it. A
servers?
hydra. A hydra, is that the one you cut its head off and it grows more heads?
Yes, but that's more of like a snake dragon.
It's basically what the cigar industry is, but here's the honest to God truth. Scary things are happening, and we will never recover from this. And we're going to tell you all about that tonight. We're going to look into some of the biggest and most threatening things for the cigar industry. What's going to, like, people ask me this all the time. Are there going to be tariffs? I don't know. All I know is I've not heard the word tariff so much in my entire life as I have in the last month and a half. It's just been absolutely insane. But you know what? Even though I have no idea what's going to happen, we're going to talk about it.
Yes, we
Because
will.
that's what the internet is. People who don't know what's going to happen, talking about what they think possibly could happen. Anyway, always here to help you guys with that. I want to start off with some comments. We have a tremendous amount to do, Billy, so only get the best ones and go.
Sorry, you got to give me. All right, here we go.
He's vivaciously reading since the beginning of the episode, and now that we get one, he's like, hold on. Cigar Yam says,
We got Tim mixing C4 with ground coffee and pairing it with a cigar before GTA 6.
Yep, we sure did. By the way, I was going to ask you about this. Did someone die?
Huh?
Are we mourning the loss? I'm asking you, did someone's wife send their ashes to be spread at the Cigars Daily HQ?
No.
At this point, nothing would shock me. You guys would be profoundly surprised to know how many wedding invitations that I get to people's weddings. And I'm relatively certain they just want stuff. Like I get the nice card, the wedding invitation. And I wish I had thought of that when I got married. Send wedding invitations to, all the places that I frequently watch and view. So did someone die?
From my understanding, no. Well, thankfully, no. Thankfully,
Are you?
no.
How sure are you? Before I open this on the computer,
About like 60%.
there's paper underneath it.
Yeah, that's
It's
sealed.
sealed.
Yeah.
Whoever died is vacuum sealed into this thing. So that's good. Tim, Terrence, Ryan, and CEO Billy.
Woo.
I unfortunately was one of the people. Oh yeah, okay. I can't read this because it talks about that which we shall not be talk about. I got over it and lived my life. There you go, Terrence.
Yeah.
So I have plenty of good cigars to enjoy. And anyway, here's some coffee. Gary Klee.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. Don't ever send me anyone's ashes, please. For the love of God. All right. I don't want to
If I ever
advertise
go
for Maxwell Coffee
prematurely,
Consultants.
I most definitely will have my ashes here. Probably just sprinkled around the premise, though.
That's because how you're going to die is going to be by catching on fire. I'm pretty certain. I wouldn't put anything past you, buddy. All right. Terrence is the only person. Okay, I'm gonna make this statement for the record. Terrence is the only person other than myself that I'm aware of in 7 years who has said, "Can I stay past close to get done what I want to do because I can't stop thinking about it?" And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." No, you cannot go to TPE. Anyway, all right. I want to jump back into your comments, but we do have. I saw this comment pop up right here. Right, your is like, no, Ryan, 4044. Here he is, Ryan, defender of the flatter.
I had other duties I was attending to. It's a duty.
All right. There is a profound amount to get into tonight, but it's a special night because let's face it, we're fear mongering. Okay. At this point, we're just joining the masses and all the fear mongering. So we're going to talk about some scary stuff, but we're also going to talk about some favorited stuff from the cigar community out there. And of course, I'm talking about a Liga Privada Cigars from Drew Estate Cigars. This is a old school idea from Drew Estate. It goes all the way back to the days when famed cigar makers Steve Saka from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust and Nick Melillo from Foundation Cigars were both working at Drew Estate, which is something that, by the way, Drew Estate and Foundation and Dunbarton probably doesn't love me mentioning. They've all kind of like gone their way and are all doing their own thing. And everybody keeps dragging them back into Jonathan Drew's territory. But Steve Saka was the president of Drew Estate Cigars. And Nick Melillo was the director of tobaccos, which is the title that Terrence wishes he had every single day of his life.
Every day.
The fact that a position called director of tobaccos exists and Terrence isn't that title, it's irksome to him. I'm sorry, dude. I feel for you. Keep that on you. Just keep thumbing your lip like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish Tim, if you ever make a factory,
I told this to Terrence.
if you ever make a factory,
I said this to Terrence today. When I get a cigar factory, Terrence is going to be the first one there, director of tobaccos, manager of the factory, as soon as he finds me someone who can do his job even half as well as he does. And if you can do that, Malice, are you going to quit the military and come? Okay, well, all right. Well, that was easy. Now I just got to go buy a factory and put it on Iguana Island.
There we go.
Is that still for sale? Is that island still for sale off the coast of
I
Nicaragua?
had no clue.
You didn't check that before the show?
I forgot to.
Jim's
I
gonna
also
be-
didn't ask you to. So.
Jim's going to be looking at finances and be like, what the?
What? $450,000? And I'll be like, it was for an island.
It was for an island,
A
Jim.
5-acre
Chill.
island.
and
okay.
Terrence gets to live there.
$450,000 is actually a lot for 5 acres, just to be clear. Billy,
That's
what's
massive.
happening in the comments?
All right, we're going to do some quick hits on TPE.
All right. So if you guys didn't know, and I put out one video already. We went to TPE, the Total Product Expo, last week. I took CEO Billy, and just so you guys know, Billy has been here basically since day one of Cigars Daily.
Very much
And
true.
this is the first thing that I've done. I've never actually even said thank you for a thing that he's ever done here ever. All I do is I'm just like, good night. And he's like, good night. And so we went to Las Vegas together. It was Billy's first
you guys
time.
sound married.
I'm like, good night. He's like, I have a headache. I'm like, that's what I thought. So Billy and I went to Vegas for TPE. So he went around the show and he took a fresh set of eyes into the trade show, which is great because that was sort of how Cigars Daily started. I had a fresh set of eyes for the cigar industry. I just got in and started trying different stuff. And Billy really brought a new perspective to it. So you've got some comments about TPE. How many of them are not about Matt Booth and the censored part?
No one has brought that up. There was
thank God.
only
Keep going.
one.
Let's just act like I didn't say that.
Here you
Just move
go.
right along.
Whiskey Jen says Tim and Billy look so scared in Vegas, like a kid terrified hanging on to mom and dad. Look at the weird uncle.
Like a terrified kid, hang on to mom and dad.
Matt
look at their
Booth is the
uncle.
weird uncle.
Yeah, Whiskey Gin. Who is your uncle? All these kids are just like, Mom, Dad, and Dad's like, I know, he's my brother. We have to invite him.
He doesn't have anybody else around things.
Did we look scared?
No, he was saying Tim, Billy looks scared.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was the scariest part of Vegas for you?
The Matt Booth was pretty intense,
That was
but
uncomfortable.
when we were driving around and looking at challengers, there's a couple sketchy parts in that.
Yeah,
area.
we ran into some sketchy parts of town. We saw a lady of the morning, the
Of the morning.
mid-morning, and that's worse than a lady of the night. Just so you know, a lady of the mid-morning, that's I can't say anything that's going on.
Very
in my
end
head
of her
right now.
shift.
Yeah, she was third shift. We saw
Oh.
third shift girl. All right. Ugh. Gross. All right. Billy, get us another comment. These are supposed to be quick hits.
Sorry.
Kevin Gluck says, hey, Billy, how much spooning went on between you and Tim last week in Vegas?
You know,
This is a fair question. I'm going to let Billy answer that.
there was none. We
Oh.
did take a couple naps on the sofa together, separated, of course.
The sofa
Ugh.
naps were what was up. After we left the trade show, we would go back, and before dinner, you put on a movie. We watched the dumbest Nicolas Cage movie that I've ever seen in my life.
The Wicker Man.
No.
No,
What do you remember what it was called, Billy?
I don't.
The settled score, the last score.
There's a few alcoholic beverages that night, so I don't remember the finer details.
You're absolutely right. Okay, let's just keep moving right along. Next comment about TPE right here, and then we'll move on because
All
we
right.
do have a profound amount to
Last
do during
one.
the show. Shane Hoteling says, CEO, how is TPE, aka Terrence, probably excluded?
Definitely excluded.
Yeah. So that is really the question, Billy. How was TPE? I mean, what was your overall perception of the being as deep into the cigar industry as you've been? What, like, give me three things from the show that surprised you, didn't surprise you, that stood out to you, that you would have changed or done differently or done the same. Just give me three impressions.
Number one, the amount of handshake deals that occurred. I know I talked about it on
Yeah.
the video,
Yeah,
but
you
the
can do the same
handshake
thing.
deal was absolutely, and every deal that was made was on a handshake that I saw.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big one. Handshake deals are still a huge thing in the world of cigars. But I talked about this in the video. Handshake deals are colossal because this whole industry is built on relationships. And so you go to a show like that and you walk up to a guy and you expect to just talk about something. And we talked about some profoundly big deals, right?
Huge.
And then shook hands and walked away. But that doing a handshake deal in an industry like this is as much about keeping your word as it is about knowing who will keep theirs. And that's a colossally huge deal. And it's easy for these guys to handshake with me. They have my credit card information. So, all right.
Number two,
Number two.
the fact that they get on us for trying to attract kids into premium cigars and all the vape booths.
Blue carpet, we can say that.
The blue carpet.
Blue carpet.
Blue carpet was like a child's paradise. They
Yeah.
had like toy
It was like,
giveaways,
like Dora the
DJs.
Explorer.
Yeah.
Nicotine synthetic, whatever. Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, that part of it was like like zebra lollipop, Twizzler swirl rainbow, whatever. It was very, very colorful on that side of it. We noticed that. Yeah. And even still on the cigar side of it, it's just a bunch of like people who are like overweight, sitting in a chair, smoking a cigar. We're like, I don't even want to be here right now. I gotta get 2 seats on the plane. All right. What else, Billy? Sorry,
Last one
that's the
was
cigar industry people for you.
surprisingly how many cigar guys were not there. Like big names were not there.
Okay, so this brings us to, I'm never going to recover from this. Keep dropping your cigar comments and questions down below. We're going to keep taking them. We got a lot to chat about, but there are some things changing, shifting in the world of cigars. Things, I'm just going to say it. We should all be afraid, okay? We should be terrified. None of us should sleep after we hear this. But one of the things that's striking to me is the way that these trade shows line up. They're a little different every year. And the big question is how is the trade show going to be? How is the attendance going to be? And now how is the turnout from vendors going to be? Because in the past years, between TPE and PCA, there have been up years where it's great and the energy's really there and people are, doing this kind of stuff. And then there's down years where the attendance is really low. It kind of it's a bummer. The vendors are trying to do their thing. There's not a lot of guests. This one was the most bizarre. A lot of vendors were not at TPE. And a lot of guys that I make content with, which actually made it kind of a challenge. I wanted to get 2 full videos out of this, which is more than I usually do. But I went around and was looking for a lot of guys who are sort of favorites to catch in these videos weren't there. Now, part of this is because TPE and PCA are close this year. They're less than 2 months apart, I think. It's like 2 months apart or something like that. And then next year, they're actually even closer. Next year, TPE and PCA are only 2 weeks apart. One is in Las Vegas and the other in New Orleans. And a lot of vendors, I think, are still going to bow out of TPE, which once again is a largely non-cigar trade show. It's other stuff. And they're going to go to PCA, which is going to be in New Orleans this year and again in New Orleans next year in 2026. So I'm at this point going to say, I wonder what it's going to look like for premium cigars at TPE in the future. There wouldn't be surprised to find a year where there aren't a lot or even any cigars at TPE and PCA becomes the single big industry trade show. At least it looks like it's kind of jockeying up to be that way. I'm not trying to say anybody's trying to do that, but it's like for an industry that's had 2 trade shows since early on when I got into cigars, it seems like we're kind of headed back toward one. Okay, I want to take a couple of comments and then we're going to continue terrifying the hell out of people. Billy, will you read the next one? Read it for me, Billy.
Yeah,
This is from MN Drummer 71. Didn't see Oliva Nick.
Oliva Nick is in the second video. So in the second video, I've got a completely other set of people. So yes, Oliva Nick will be in that one. We didn't even we saw him the first day, but we had both been drinking. Rooster says the vendors didn't show because Terrence wasn't there.
Probably.
Terrence was one of the vendors.
You don't got to lie to kick it, Rooster. It's okay. You don't got to glow. You don't got to stroke the ego for me, brother.
He will make sure his ego gets stroked later after the show. All right, keep going.
I'm just picturing this guy in the Mickey costume with a cigar in there.
Sheen Barbarian.
Hey, if you guys ever in Florida, I can get you into Disney. I'm a cast member there.
He's just in the Mickey costume. And just
yeah.
has a cigar in there.
I want everybody to go around and say what does cast member. I know cast member is what they call the people who work there. Everyone's a cast member. Who does he dress up as? Come on.
A heel.
You're going to say Goofy?
That's my vote. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Cinderella.
I'm going with yeah. I'm going with Moana. I think you dress up as Moana at Disney, and I would love to go to Disneyland with you.
See, if I go to Disneyland, I'm gonna go under his dime. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we need you to work here. Put on this tiara. All right, you're Tiana now. Go."
All right.
Well,
Keep him coming, Billy. One more.
Boo.
I'm a chef.
Oh,
The chef from Ratatouille. All right. I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Is he the chef or is he dressed up as a giant mouse? A different mouse.
All right. We're going to get to the bottom of that. Well, it's not the only reason to be afraid, the trade show stuff. In fact, there are some horrific, terrifying things going on. The truth, honest to God truth, if it's not one thing for the cigar industry, it's another. If it's not two of our trade shows beginning to go head to head to see who can get more attendance and more attention from the industry, it's the damn regulators trying to come down on us. And I know a lot of you right-wing people were all excited after the last election. You were like, oh, freedom, freedom. But the truth is, things are coming down the pipes. We don't know if tariffs will be assessed on premium cigars just yet. We haven't really heard. And for one thing, look for sure, tariffs that are coming down on accessories seem to be a thing of certainty at this point because they all come from China. And the truth is, we don't know how this is going to all play out. But even then, within the borders of our own territory, within the borders of our own country, threatening things are always happening, even if those threatening things are hilariously misguided. Today, we're going to take a look at some headlines in Cigars Daily's headlines. Here's what's going on in cigars today. And before Terrence puts up the first one, I want to say, we need to describe this to you because I'm going to slam through these headlines relatively quickly to get to a segment I want to do. So drop your cigar comments and questions because my goal right now is to have fun, laugh a little bit, and then come back to your comments as quick as I can. So get ready to make fun of some stuff with me. I have seen, since my time in cigars, some of the most, what I consider to be hilariously misguided cigar legislations that there have been. These are things like plain packaging on cigars, where you can't have any artwork on the cigar. You can't have a box with a picture of a topless woman on it with her hair covering the things because artwork is too enticing. It's too much. It's just too much. So what we have to do is make all the packaging baby diarrhea brown. Every cigar band in every box, and cover it in 30% in a warning label. And the only picture on the box can be a child mourning his dead father. Also, we've now tried this new thing called generational tobacco bans, by which a state or a county or a city, or in some cases a whole country, will gradually raise the smoking age by 1 year every year, which means if the smoking age is 21 this year, it's 22 next year. It's 23 the year after. And this is an obviously silly one because at some point you get to the degree that the smoking age is 39 years old. And how do you card for that? You just have to card every person that walks in. And what do you say to the 38-year-old guy who's had a mortgage for 4 years that he's too young to buy a cigar? The dude's got kids. He's done diapers. He's done the sleepless nights. He owns a business, but he's too young to buy cigars. Hell, he can fight. He's just old enough. He can still be drafted to go die for his country, but he's not old enough to buy cigars. That's the idea behind a generational tobacco ban. And here's what we see in the news. These are the headlines. Let me scare tactic you a little bit. All right. I'm just going to throw this at you. Hawaii legislators introduce generational tobacco ban. They're going to raise that smoking age. The next one. Hawaii and Massachusetts. I took this one from Cigar Aficionado. I usually get my articles from Half Wheel. Hawaii and Massachusetts target generational tobacco bans. They're going to start up in that year. Wait until you're 45 years old. You'll never be able to do it. Should I read these as you bring them up, Billy?
Oh, I didn't mean. I was trying to start that. My bad.
Yeah, Cigars Daily Plus is having an issue tonight, so we're going to be doing the after party only on Rumble. Indiana legislators introduce a bill to ban flavored tobacco products. The next one. Generational tobacco proposed in Indiana. Once again, Indiana's really going after it. And finally, New York State eyeing a tax hike on cigars. Did you guys know New York State has the highest taxes on cigars in the country?
I knew that, yeah.
It's like half. The tax is like half. It's more than half. It's a lot more than half. They want to raise it even more. Okay, so these are some ridiculous, insane things. And for that reason, I wanted to give you guys a very special version. Oh, yeah, Bon Hojo says, interesting that that's not happening for alcohol. Interesting, isn't it? Actually, I thank you, Bon Hojo. You're right. I have a very specific view on that. And I would love to tell it to you, but I would take the show and I'd drive it straight into the gutter. And my goal, once again, is to get back to your comments. Now, we know this. Lawmakers are doing things that they don't seem to make a lot of sense. I think if you're a regular Joe like you and I are together, they do some things that seem kind of silly. They make laws that don't seem highly applicable. Oh, I didn't get the one I really wanted to get, Terrence.
Oh, the headline?
Yeah, the headline I really wanted.
Is it this one?
No, I can't upload it. Ah, that's so terrible. The other one, and I don't have the graphic for this, but I saw this on Cigar Aficionado. Minnesota has introduced a law to limit cigar smoking to 15 minutes
It's
in
their
cigar
sampling law. Yeah.
sampling law. So they're
Like
what they're
anywhere or just
in
at
in a cigar lounge.
Any cigar
cigar
lounge.
You
yeah.
go into the lounge, you can light up a cigar for 15 minutes. And I
Yep.
think the idea
Let 'em
here is they're
screenshot
trying
that
to get
building.
around to where you can where they want to get rid of smoking. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they had a sampling law that you could go sample in there, and eventually guys are just like, I'm just sampling all the cigars I bought today, and now they're like, okay, we got to cap it to 15 minutes. These are insane rules, but I got to tell you guys, these insane rules are a rookie's game. You guys got to up those numbers. And so that's why tonight we're going to play a very special edition of You Know What You Should Do, Cigar Legislation Edition. Listen, this one is exclusively for lawmakers in states, cities, counties, and countries that don't like cigar smokers. As a cigar aficionado, I know what you guys go through. We're just the worst. We love what we love, and you hate that. And that's good with us. We understand. So what I want to do is recommend to you some great laws that are going to fit in perfectly with your generational tobacco ban and your 15-minute smoking lounge rule. How does that one work, by the way? Do you have a
You're on a timer.
marshal sitting in the corner, and every time someone walks in, he's like clicks the timer, he's like,
You're on the clock.
It's
He
a
hits-
meter
He
maid.
hits you with
It's
an
a
air
mi-
horn.
He hits you with an air- It's a meter maid walking around the humidor just with the little meter maid hat on. All right. These are some laws. You guys haven't thought about them yet, but if you're a lawmaker, this one's just for you. Here we go. Number one, best cigar law out there. If you haven't passed it in one state, you should pass it in all 50. Outlawing high capacity cigar boxes. Nobody needs 20 cigars in a box. Let's face it. I don't think we need any more than 6 or 8. So if you just make that quick and simple rule, change the whole game for everybody. Rule number 2, equal opportunity cigar selections. If a humidor doesn't carry an equal number of Connecticut's Habanos, Criollos, Corojos, Mexican San
Infused.
Andreas, broadleaf, infused, and other, it's not really fair.
And
Mandatory cellophane. If you're not thinking about this law as a legislator, let me just clue you in on something. We all know that in the cigar world, they play this sexy game where they don't put cellophane on the most expensive cigars. The elite cigars sit there just tantalizing people with their leaf. Mandatory cellophane. Now, all cigars must have cellophane by law. Stop the spread of cigars. Wrap your leaf. Did that one come across as good as it did in my head?
wrap your plant rods.
Wrap your plant rods. Thank you. I thought about that. That's kind of a Matt Booth thing.
Yeah, that is.
The next one is this, and this one is environmentally conscious. We've all seen before these wooden cigar boxes.
Yeah.
And they're destroying the plant. Thank you, Terrence. Terrence is like, yeah. These wooden cigar boxes are destroying the planet. We've seen huge moves to cut our carbon emissions, and that's why I'm lobbying for a move to paper cigar boxes. Gone are the days of old. I really didn't plan this part of it. Jeez, I don't have enough space on my desk. Gone are the days of old where wooden cigar boxes are made out of trees. Now we can transfer all of our cigars over to paper boxes, just like they've probably already done in California.
They're still made out of trees, though.
What?
They're still
No,
made out
paper's
of
not.
trees.
Paper's not made out of trees. Billy, paper's not made out of trees. Get out of here with that. Here we go. We've stopped cutting down all the trees. Now a box of S84 Drew Estate Shade to Black doesn't come in a heavy wooden box that you don't have anywhere to put. You put it in the paper box. And here it is, ready in all of its majestic glory.
That's the best one for that.
Temu boxes. John Burt. Temu boxes. Okay. Try to get the lid to stay open for the photo op. There we go. See, it works actually surprisingly well. All right. Hold on. I have more.
But wait, there's more.
Julie Flor brings up a good point. If we're doing paper boxes,
Would
they'd
paper boxes
cheaper.
be cheaper? Oh, hell yeah. No, absolutely they would be cheaper. 100%. In fact, there's cardboard boxes. They're way cheaper than wooden boxes. I had a lot of fun with these, by the way. I'm just going to tell you, I don't like come up with ideas for the show that like make me giggle at my desk, but this one did. I pulled Terrence and Ryan. They helped with these. We're talking about laws that you have got to, you got to put out there if you're a lawmaker and you want to make laws to suppress the cigar smoker out there. These are I got 2 more of these for you. Nope, I got 3 more of these. I think that we should make it a law in every state, in every city, in every cigar lounge in America that people must now adhere to the blow your smoke through a toilet paper tube stuffed with dryer lint sheets in it initiative. See, this initiative would get rid of the smoke odor that your parents always smell when you smoke pot in your bedroom as a teenager. We take this to every cigar lounge in America. Boom. Neighbors are happy. Cigar lounges can be at strip malls again. That's a no-brainer. That one's a no-brainer.
Okay.
And the biggest thing I think that people get into with premium cigars and wanting to control the flow of them has to do with warning labels, really. I mean, we've put warning labels on boxes. My concern is that after warning labels have been on boxes for so long, are they as effective as they need to be? And maybe something that will, I don't know, really cause people to stop and think. And I think that I came up with the perfect one. I think that if you changed it so that every cigar box had this warning label on it, it would say, warning, any cigar over 3 inches is just too big. It's obscenely big. I mean, are you really that selfish that you need more than that? I mean, come on now. Stop being so damn greedy.
Cigars bigger than that hurt. Yeah.
Cigars bigger than that hurt everyone. Okay. 3 inches is enough. So you put this on all your 4, 5, 6, 7-inch cigars. Problem solved.
And also double-edged sword, because then that's how you execute the Lancero.
Wow. I love it. I'm a big fan of this. And my last one, and this is a personal one just for me, I think is going to be an important thing. Billy's laughing at the comments. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I saw that comment the second you started. Buddy. All right. The last one, and this, I got the first person to go on this list, the Matt Booth Registry. I think we should have a national Matt Booth Registry. When we closed down the insane asylums in America, we did a huge disservice to people. Now crazy people just go all over the place. No, instead, I want a Matt Booth Registry so that the most seriously mentally disturbed people among us can be called a Matt Booth.
And they can't go anywhere between 50 and 100 feet of a cigar lounge.
That's well, yeah, you're 100% right. Okay, that's probably an effective thing. There you go. There they are. I want to get back to your comments and questions. As promised, those are my top ideas for cigar legislations. You know, and I'll say this before we jump into the comments. If I've learned one thing in premium cigars, it's that there is always some damn thing that is threatening to wipe out what we do. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If it's not a federal bill going before Congress or before the Senate that would stamp out our whole industry or overtax us or overregulate us basically out of existence, then it's something at some city or state level. And we've seen this over the entire history of the country. There have been severely prohibitive laws, and those laws have been repealed. And it's gone back and forth literally since the second Congress. When they Congress passed the first laws regulating tobacco in the United States, and it's gone back and forth ever since, even since tobacco was a big part of the economy in the United States, and we even used tobacco to as collateral to secure help from France to win the Revolutionary War. Completely beside the point. I don't know why I know that. Billy, will you get and read the next comment for me, please?
I don't want to read it, but I'll put it up.
That's what he said.
I'm definitely that selfish. Thank you. Okay, there you go.
Okay, there we go.
Billy, honorable mention from Billy. I appreciate that. Okay.
There we go.
Also, I'm curious, was there a nickname that I missed out on you? Because I'm super bummed if I missed this one.
Tampon Tim wants to control cigars. No, there's another guy they call that. I hope. There's another, right?
Oh, somebody in
right?
Congress probably.
Tim
I
Waltz.
think
Right?
I think I've found
Tim
searched
Waltz,
like
the
that.
vice president candidate. He was Tampon Tim.
Dude, you know what? You screw up one time and come up with some policy that does something people don't like, and you're Tampon Tim forever. Cole Garrison is like, wrong Tim. He knew right away. All right. Timpon from JW.
Fire.
Yeah. That's fair. All right,
We need to put you on a Los Stados Deluxe band. call it the Timpon.
bro.
Yeah.
Daily edition Los Stados.
Ooh.
All right, keep it going. I want more comments from the fine people at
Oh,
home.
yeah.
Billy's reading through them right now. You guys have left a lot of comments during this segment. Just so you know, after this, we're going to head to the after party on Cigars Daily Plus, and not on Cigars Daily Plus. It's not working tonight. We're going to go to the after party on Rumble. We'll still do the after party. It will only be on Rumble, and it's there. You're going to be able to learn more about. We all around the studio here tonight got Liga Privada cigars, Drew Estate's finest. Like the Liga Privada number 10 and the number 9. Yeah, NY Diesel in Florida says, what's the staff smoking tonight? So let's go around the studio. I'll start. I usually go at the end. I got a Liga Privada number 9.
Ah, classic.
The first Liga Privada I ever had, and I still remember it, was given to me by a buddy of mine at church. He brought me a box of cigars with one Liga Privada in it because he went to the cigar. He knew nothing about cigars, and he went to the cigar shop. He knew that I liked them. And he said, what's a good cigar? And the guy had one Liga Privada left in the box. So he sold him the cigar and gave him the box. And so here he hands me a box of cigars and he's like, it's a great gift. And then I open it. It's one cigar in there. And he's like, nah, man, that one was like really expensive. And so the Liga Privada number 9 kind of stamps in my mind as the Liga Privada because it was the first one I ever had. Defender of the Flat Earth, Ryan. What you got going on?
I'm holding in my hand the Liga Privada T52, which is supposed to be spicier and more pepper than the number 9.
So yeah, number 9 is the more chocolatey, a little bit more earthy, a little bit more creamy as compared with the T52 for flavor profile.
Yeah.
There's definitely like leather and like some powerful notes in this cigar. A little bit of pepper and spice, but yeah, the T52 is the tongue puncher.
The spicier,
Spicy.
peppery.
Why is it spicy?
All right, Billy, what do you got?
I got the H99.
H99.
You know what
Oh, here we
wrapper is
go.
on that, Billy?
It is a sun-grown.
Starts with the Corojo. It's a
This
Corojo
is
wrapper.
a
I'll
show of professional people. Who knows. He was literally just at a cigar trade show.
Yes, it
Corojo.
was.
Corojo is the word we're looking for.
Yes.
That, I don't know how that was for everybody. That was painful for me on this side. Yeah.
It made everything on me pucker up a little bit. So I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Corojo wrapper. So this is the thing. When there's a lot of hearsay out there about who did what with Liga Privada. Steve Saka says he made Liga Privada. Nick Melillo also says he made Liga Privada. If you're into the and if you know this already, by the way, you are a colossal cigar nerd.
Oops.
You know way too much about this stuff. But Steve Saka of Dunbarton and Nick Melillo Foundation both say they made Liga. At the time this happened, Steve Saka was the president, and he said, I want to make, I'm not going to do a Steve Saka impression. Just me being a jerk to myself. That would be my impression of him. Swanson, you're an idiot. I'm going to make a really elite, line of cigars. And they're going to be top end, top tier. I want to call them Liga Privada. So he gets on the phone, dials it up, and he goes, Nick Melillo, I want pictures of Spider-Man. I don't know why my Steve Saka is the guy from Spider-Man. He goes,
John Jonah Jameson.
he said, you're going to blend these amazing top tier cigars I want to make. So Steve Saka came up with the concept and Liga Privada as a brand and an idea. Nick Melillo blended them. And by the way, blended a lot of Liga Privada blends. Today, we've got basically 5.
Mhm.
We've got the Liga Privada. Which one are you putting up first, Terrence? I'm going to let you lead the way.
All right.
Take us down the
I'm
path.
going to go from the top.
The
down to
Liga
the bottom.
Privada number 9. A broadleaf one, like we said, it's the chocolatey, a little bit more mellowed out, although it's still bold as hell. We've got the Liga Privada T52, okay, which is, again, more spicy, more peppery, a little bit of a different blend. I believe both of those are broadleaf wrappers on them.
Stock cut Habano for the T52.
Stock cut Habano. Thank you very much. We have the Unico series, which uses a Brazilian wrapper, similar to, a high-end version of the Herrera Esteli
Esteli.
Brazilian Maduro. And we've got the Liga Privada 10th anniversary, now that it's been around 10 years. Now,
That's
in
a
a
Connecticut Criollo wrapper, by the way.
Connecticut Criollo, thank you very much. Not a lot of people use Criollo.
Yeah.
And then finally, we've got the newest addition to Liga Privada, which is probably your least powerful one, which is the
Yeah.
H99 that uses that sun-grown Corojo wrapper. That's just 5 different Liga blends. Keep in mind, there are lots of these out there.
Mhm.
From my memory, over 20 different blends of Liga Privada that Nick Melillo did, and who knows, they may even still be blending those. So there's a lot to learn about with Liga Privada. It's a line that is as wide as it is deep as it is elite, and you can learn more about it on the after party where we're going to be going on Rumble just a little bit later. All right, Billy, give me comments. Cigars watches coffee. What happened to the Liga Muerte and Rico Cameroon? Was there ever a Rico Cameroon?
I don't remember a Rico.
I don't remember
Cameroon.
I've never
And I've been around for some years. I remember Muerte for sure. That will be duly missed. But a Rico Cameroon, that's escaping me. I can't
Yeah.
think of it.
Liga Muerte fulfilled its legacy by being the blend that died, and it died because I killed it. So that's where Liga Muerte went.
I guess you could say that that blend was killable.
Well, maybe we'll see. I never got a cease and desist for it, which means I should probably keep using it. So I probably should revive that. blend somewhere.
You're a bit bigger than you used to be. Tim.
You know,
You're
you get-
smaller in form than you used to be, but
you
you're
get
bigger
away
than
with-
you used to be.
you get a lot. You get away with a lot when you're not that big, and you get a lot more cease and desists when you're bigger. You're probably right about that. Thinking about it. I think I might do it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm with it.
Let's
Billy-
keep cruising. I want more comments, Billy. Billy's got Johnny H. What does the CDHQ recommend for cigars that are made with Kentucky fire cured tobacco? All right, guys, here's the question.
What 2 cigars
This
do you
guy-
recommend?
of the 2 cigars in the industry that there are, which one would you pick for your personal self? Go.
Swamp Thing.
The one that's called that?
What's they come in the little boxes. There's the red, black, and white one, and it's not Kentucky fire cured, but it's got that same flavor profile to it. We did it the other night, like 3 weeks
Are you
ago.
talking about Zingotitos?
Yeah, Zingo Tito's.
They're not fire cured.
Those
They're
are
not
fire-
fire cured, but they've got a little bit of
that hickory kind of woody.
Yeah.
They do have a hickory note to them, but again, the process of fire curing with black air cured leaf is they hang it in the curing barns and they burn woods underneath it. And literally, they turn these huge, almost football sized buildings into a smoker, into like a Traeger pellet smoker.
Mm.
It's like they probably
Imagine
hate
the
me
smell
calling
of
it that.
building. Mm.
Yeah, and they're burning like hickory woods, and so it becomes fire cured leaf. And when they do this, they effectively create this very easy peasy, says Toscano.
Yeah.
And that's the other one. Toscanos are fire cured, but they don't make a 5x50 Toscano that I know of. A 6x52 Toscanos are cheroots. They're ugly. They have no binder leaf. I'm not sure. I don't think they qualify as a premium handmade cigar. I don't think they make them even by hand.
I think the Master Age are the only ones that they make by hand.
They're delicious though.
They are.
So I would say,
And that's Italian fire cured, not Kentucky fire cured. So that's why I didn't
well,
say
no,
there are-
no,
in the-
it's-
in the,
there's an there's one that was
in
Italian
Antico
American
that has American and
but is it Kentucky? I don't
once
know.
again, if you know about the answer to what they're talking about, you're a massive nerd, huge cigar nerd.
huge.
Yeah, it's Kentucky Fire Cured from Drew Estate or Toscanos. And if you're a premium cigar guy, Kentucky Fire Cured is the way to go. It's a love it or hate it thing. Jason Carlson's like, boo.
Do you remember it was a Casa Cueva Sangre Nueva? Do you remember that, Tim?
New Blood. Did that have fire cured leaf in it?
It definitely had that hickory to it. I think it had some fire cured in there. If I remember that
Nice.
very distinctly.
All right, grab some more comments here. There you go. That's your answer.
There we go.
Don George says, can I use that Maxwell Coffee House container as a humidor?
Probably.
Don't say that, Ryan.
Here's what I'm going to say. When I come to Cigars Daily HQ every single morning, the first thing I do is come and take a big container of coffee like this, and I scoop out into the coffee maker. We have a coffee pot here. I make an entire pot of coffee for the staff, and then I drink the whole thing before they get here.
Every day.
Every single day.
No, there's a little residual.
But
I
not
kinda-
enough for a cup. And every
No.
time I drink that last cup, I'm like, I'm not going to make more. I already made a whole pot. Nobody's here yet. By the time you get, if you got a big thing of coffee grounds like this at home, maybe you're not a coffee snob and you just buy one of these. By the time you get to the bottom, how moist are your coffee grounds? How well humidified are they?
They're supposed to be moist.
Well, I mean, how fresh do they feel, or do they seem more or less dry? I wouldn't use one of these as a storage for a cigars long term. I really wouldn't. I mean,
They'd be okay in an emergency.
in a pinch, you can get away with it for a week or 2 weeks with proper humidification. But I would legitimately, Tupperware is a big step up from this. Acrylic jar is a big step up from this. Chris Krim, don't do it. Don't do it, guys. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Chris Krim. All right. Need to up your coffee game from JW, who sounds like a colossal coffee nerd.
See, the thing is, when you go through the amount of coffee that we do here at the CDHQ, that's not very economic.
Yeah. We ain't drinking 4-ounce espressos around here.
Nah, it's about 64 ounces of coffee per person a day. Like,
Yeah, we go through.
I fill this 16-ounce tumbler up at least 4 times a day.
I'm pretty sure whatever it is in my body that makes cortisol is broken. That's how much coffee I'm drinking.
Isn't that what you put on burns?
Yeah. I got to tell you, though, I have given myself a panic attack before by how much coffee I drink. That's not a joke. I really did that. All right. I had to go home that day. Okay. Here we go.
We're going back to Disney real fast.
All right. Take me back to Disney.
Fact.
Bunny Rojas says Terrence would make a great Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. Facilier from Princess and the Frog, to be honest.
Is facts.
You
You
know
should have
what?
gone with that.
I could be a voodoo doctor from here and there. I don't shrink no heads, so that's cool. But like, I could pretend. I could pretend to be one.
You're just playing it at Disney.
But you know, I gotta make it look real for the kids. You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
For the young adults there that know what the Princess and the Frog is. Oh, Tim, don't make that face, man.
I can't say it. I don't want to say it.
Text it to me.
I don't want to say it.
Just text it to me. I'll give you the green light on the after party.
Bunny thought of one role that Terrence could play in a Disney movie. I can think of about 600.
Oh, are you gonna say I'm one of the birds from Dumbo? I done see the house fly. I done see the horse fly.
No, we'll talk about it more in the after party.
Okay.
Let's dive into a segment we do every week on this show called the Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. Keep dropping your cigar comments and questions down below. We're going to get back to them. And we're not going to talk about Terrence and Disney movies anymore until the after party. I want to bring you 2 pictures from the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group. The first one is for fear mongering. This one is great because I'm trying to create as much fear as I can in everybody tonight. Really drives up the numbers, the views, the clicks. You know, guys know how it is. And so this is something I saw, and I said, I'm never going to recover from this. This is exactly how this guy felt. Take a look right here. Nick H posts a picture, and I'll say this for the podcast listeners. He's got a King Chi thermoelectric humidor. You can see from the ground that the plug is sitting on the ground. It's not plugged in. He's clearly just moved. And inside the door of his King Chi humidor are all of his cigars, really sort of positioned laterally between the shelf and the door. If he opens the door, about a half a dozen cigars are falling out of this thing. Some of them are not soloed.
Terrence had to do a double take because he thought that was his humidor.
No, facts. I was like, hey, I did that just a couple weeks ago.
Mandatory cello would have saved this. He said, moved down the street and thought, meh, I'll just move the whole thing as is.
Nope.
Don't do that.
No, I learned that the hard way too.
So here's the question. What would be your game plan if this happened to you?
Tilt it backwards, open it up.
Terrence knows from experience.
Terrence knows.
Yeah,
He's done this a
I
few
literally just did this. The thing that scares me though is where's my hand? Okay, never mind. Anyway,
just take the picture down.
that
That
is
is what you do on this show is put up and take down the pictures.
I guess I just wanted to keep it up for as long as possible. Anyway, he had an H up in either 175th or 180th. That would break my heart. And it looked like you had a Monte Cristo Maduro, or I'm sorry, Macanudo Maduro 1997. If those would have cracked, I would have. So yeah,
You could also put a pillow under it and then open it.
That's fair.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Or set it on a mattress and then open it. I'm just saying that. This is not the end of the world, unless there's water inside of that thing, in which case it is the end of the world. Be very afraid. Now, that's not the only one. I got to tell you this before you put this up, Terrence.
Yeah.
I love being a member of the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group. It's a privilege and a treat for me. There's over 40,000 people in that group. Wonderful people who love to share their passion for the culture of cigars, for the artwork that goes into a premium blend. It's great. But as with any kind of group out there, people will come and sort of wander into topics with which the group is well versed.
Oh.
But new people aren't. Now, sometimes people make these posts jokingly, and I hope that's what this is, because every time I see one of these posts right here, I go,
bro.
oh, wow. And I
Oh,
basically go straight to
bro.
the comments. What this is a picture from Alan S. The picture is twofold. It's two pictures. One of them is of the front of a glass top box of 5, I'm doing quote fingers, Cuban cigars called Cuba Selection. Says Habanos on it. He's photographed the front of the box with 5 passable looking cigars. And on the side of the box, the seals that go around the edges of the box. And Alan S. said this. I'm going to read this perfectly monotone because I don't know if he was joking. I don't know if he was serious. And I'm going to make fun of him either way. So I just received this wonderful gift from a friend who went to Mexico for a vacation and brought this back for me. I am truly blessed. What are your thoughts? Now, as a discerning aficionado, you see something like this and you're like, oh, this is going to be good. And then that's when you go straight to the comments.
It's
Now-
like the Michael Jackson Thriller movie where the gif where he's eating popcorn. That's me in the comment section every time I see one of those.
Yeah. JW says, yum, floor sweeping. I got to tell you this. I have all my cigar life wondered where they get those cigars. Like, is there just like a Kmart of a cigar factory out there that just dumps out these garbage things? And I'm going to say this. When I go to Mexico, I buy the fake Cubans and I light them up on the beach. And here's why I do this. I do this for 2 reasons. Number one, I love to haggle. I love it. I love arguing price with someone. I will do it until they tell me to leave. And so they always start you off at the 5 cigars. They're like, yeah, it's $100. And I'm like, I'll give you $6. And I just love it. Okay. It's a passion of mine. And number 2, like, it's those things are so famously fake Cubans that, like, when you get them, you're like, these are the famous fake Cubans that we all make fun of online. I always want to have a few of them. And they're not horrendously bad. I've had Connecticut fake Cohibas that I'm like, that was a passable cigar. I mean, it's not as good as a factory smokes, but it's passable, you know? All right.
We've been given cigars that are worse than fake Cubans.
Listen, I see these comments right here. Where are they?
The Star Wars bar scene.
Yeah. Hugo Dalpe says, crap box, LOL. Yes, thank you.
That's fighting
E-
words to it.
Easy peasy says they're really bad. Yeah, listen, they're not good, but I legitimately have had factories send me cigars that make the fake Cubans in Mexico look great. Like, legitimately. It's where, yeah, Terrence, I'll literally bring a cigar into his office and I just put it right there and he lights it up. He's always way more committed than I am. A half an inch, 2 puffs, 3 puffs. I'm like, this thing is going in the gutter. And I'll walk in and he'll be like an inch into it. He's like, maybe it'll develop.
Like, he will get 2 puffs into it and then chuck it in my ashtray. And I was like, I got to give it a little bit more respect than that. I try. I get about halfway through sometimes. Sometimes
That's
I
terrible,
finish it,
dude.
but
That's terrible.
like within the first 1/4 inch of a cigar, he can just put it in my ashtray that I got to deal with.
bro.
But let's look at this from a different side.
Yeah. Okay.
He did have a friend that thought of him,
That's true.
Yeah.
that
And
he
cared about him enough
cared about him
to
enough.
get ripped off.
Now the friend probably has no idea what they're doing, but knows, hey, what was his name?
Alan.
Alan.
Yes.
Alan likes cigars. I'm going to hook Alan up with these sweet Cubans. Whether or not they're Cubans, we know they're not.
We know they're not.
You know what I would do though? I would definitely find another Bellicoso cigar That's just like the same similar ring gauge. Slide the bands off, put it on there, cut it, light it, and smoke that, post that, and say, "Oh my gosh, shouts out to the homie J Boz or whatever because he got me these great cigars." And I would just skate around smoking those cigars, and then I'd eventually put the bands back on and keep them for memory's sake, because eventually I'd be like, "Hey, bro, that gift you got me wasn't it?"
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
not it.
Well, I'll say this. I am somebody who, at one time in my cigar journey, would take the bands off the cigars in those fake Cubans to try to get across the border. Okay, I've been there. I've done that.
Has
These
it ever
days,
worked?
what's that?
Did it ever work?
Every time, yeah. No, like no. First of all, no one cares. Like nobody cares.
They're like, "Oh, just another gringo that got ripped off."
Yeah. An idiot. Yeah, right. No. Truthfully, I used to do that all the time. Like driving across the border, they check your bags. Like unless they think there's a child in the bag, they don't usually check. All right. And even then. Okay. Let's head over to the
Show's been going on too long, guys. I don't know if I can contain it anymore.
What's our safe word, Tim?
What's the safe word?
Rutabaga.
Pinochle, rhubarb, blueberry pie. Oh no, what was the safe word? Pineapple. All right. I want a couple more comments before we go over to the after party. Did I do everything for the show tonight?
Yes, actually, surprisingly, we did.
Thank God. All right. Don't forget to join us on the after party in a couple minutes on Rumble. We're having issues with Cigars Daily Plus tonight. They'll be resolved by next week. Don't worry about it. But join us on Rumble for the same episode. You can watch it. You don't even have to create an account or log in there. You can literally just go Cigars Daily Live 359 on Rumble, and it'll bring you to this episode. We're going to continue it on a platform where, from my understanding, there are basically no rules. So we'll do that over there. You guys will learn a lot more about Liga Privada cigars. Learn about Liga Privada there. And Billy, what's happening? What's going on? What's in the house? So Corey B says, Billy, the sexy CEO question. What is short finish and long ash?
Long
Finish.
Oh, long ash. How did I
No.
read that
What
wrong?
is short finish and long finish?
I was really having a stroke on that one.
Joe Biden's out of
I was-
office. You don't got to pretend to be him
I
anymore.
was trying really hard to do this. I was trying to be this guy, you know? What is short finish and long finish? All right. Short finish, long finish. Billy, go ahead.
Well, I am a refined
Yeah.
cigar smoker now.
One's bigger than the other.
One's what guys do, the other one's what women do.
One is good enough, and the other one's too much. All right. So finish.
Okay.
The finish on a cigar is a finish is the thing you call a flavor note, a lingering flavor note that's good. If it's bad, you call it an aftertaste. So if you take a puff on a cigar, you blow out all the smoke, and what lingers on the palate is an almond note or a coffee note. It's the remnants of a flavor profile. Typically, the finish is a simpler single note part of the flavor. That's a finish. A long finish means that lingering note lingers for longer. A short finish, one is Billy and one is Terrence. Oh, wow.
3
You know-
inches is good enough.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder for everybody that where is my thing? Yeah. Any cigar over 3 inches is just too big, and it's obscenely big. Are you really that selfish that you really need more than that? Come on now. Stop being greedy. If that finishing note goes away relatively quick, it's got a short finish.
Mhm.
And if there's no lingering note and no like dirtiness to the taste, if basically the palate is clean after a puff on a cigar, after a draw on a cigar, then it's called a clean finish.
Mhm.
So you get a clean finish, you can have a short finish, you can have a long finish. Typically, the desirable thing for an aficionado is a very nice long finish on a flavor note that just sort of stays with the palate. That's considered to be the thing that is, that is a sign of a well fermented, well aged, well treated blend.
There
Okay,
we go.
there we go. Wow, we are close on this one, guys.
Getting canceled.
Billy, keep us going.
EP Razor says, is there a cigar made 100% in the good old USA?
There is. It's called the American. It's made
Yeah.
by J.C. Newman.
Mhm.
And if you can find it, you'll know it was made by Americans because of how much it cost.
I was gonna say it's more
sorry,
expensive, and it's a. No, I'm joking. It's good though. I've had it.
All right, keep it going, Billy. I see comments. I see a bunch of good comments here. Dominic Manzulo. Hey, Tim, I've been watching you for a while. What is your thoughts on Cohibas Esplendidos? All right, we're talking about Cubans. Let's dive into Cubans. Cuban cigars, coincidentally, way more common than all American cigars.
Mhm.
And they have them all over the world outside the United States. The Esplendidos, if I'm not wrong, are a smaller vitola.
Yeah, it's a 6.5 by 47 ring gauge.
Nerd.
I
Okay.
looked it up just like you are. What are you talking about? I did the same. All right.
Bro. We got to go to the after party. It says 7 by 47.
Okay.
7 by 47. Listen, of all the Cuban cigars, here's my honest take on Cubans. And we're gonna do the after party. There are some Cuban cigars that I consider to be favorites. And mine, I have two of them. It's the Hoyo de Monterrey Epicure number 2 and the Partagas D4. Those two specific Cubans, I think, are the one. If I'm going to go to a duty-free shop in an airport somewhere in Europe, I'm getting one of those. But also a Cohiba Bahique, that's a choice cigar. What do they cost? $600 a stick now.
They're $450 to $500 depending.
The Cuban Cohiba is like one of the classic Cuban cigars. And to me, the classic Cuban cigars and all the different brands out there have got this central flavor profile of grass and hay. And, they're reasonably well balanced, but the construction is
hit or miss.
And the flavor profile is, more or less simple. I just don't find that I get the same kind of complexity, the same kind of intrigue that I get from the experience of cigars and from some of the other growing and rolling regions. There you go. Listen to me. We have to go to the after party because my jokes are going off the rails. And I have got to keep doing this show. So we're going to come back next Monday with another great episode. And I might even fearmonger some more. I don't know. This felt like a really positive fear-mongering experience. And so I want to keep doing that. Maybe we'll just do that forever. The news certainly seems to work for them, sort of.
Yeah.
And so join us now on the after party for more of this, or stay tuned for another epic episode next Monday night. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you on Rumble. And I'm going to put the episode up on Cigars Daily Plus for anybody who wants to watch it there. It's just going to take me some time because we had a technical issue. Okay, see you guys on the after party.
And live your lives